Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to have you guys back. And for anybody who's new, welcome. Today we are going to take you through our first tour through northern Bali. It was an Airbnb experience that we kind of found last minute, and let us tell you, we were so impressed and had such a great time with our guide. So our first stop on this tour was the Lempuyang temple, which is home to the famous Gate of Heaven, which you've probably seen all over Instagram. When you Google Bali, that's definitely going to show up when you arrive to this temple. It does cost 45,000 rupiah, which is really not that much, and you have to take a little bus up to the top. It's probably like a 5-minute bus ride. Not that bad. Well, for Nicole it was kind of scary because the roads are very narrow.
And the bus is like...
You also have to pay an extra 45,000 rupiah in order to enter, because you have to wear a sarong, which is a wrap that you put around you, and you have to have that before you enter. So it's a total of 90,000 rupiah per person to enter the temple, which is not that bad.
I do want to make a little note that if you are a woman on your period or you're menstruating, you are not allowed to enter the temple, so make sure to plan ahead when you're going.
So once you get to the top where the bus ride ends, you do have to walk a little ways. It is a little steep, so just make sure you're ready for a little bit of a difficult walk. There are stores you can stop at to get drinks or food on the way up. It's really only like a 5-10 minute walk, maybe. It's worth it, do not worry. So at the end of the walk, you will get to the entrance of the temple, and that is where one of the locals will bless you before entering. And then once that is done, you can walk around and explore the temple as you wish. You can go up the back side of the temple, which has a lot of stairs, and you can get to the top and have great views. You can see all the beautiful architecture. And also they will give you a number. That number you need to hold on to, as they will call it. Once your number is called, that means it's your turn to go up and get any of the pictures you want at the Gate of Heaven. So overall, this was a great first stop on our tour of northern Bali. It was foggy that day, which was fine. It was still just as pretty. Definitely try to go when it's not as foggy, because you'll be able to see Mount Agung in the background, and it makes the photos that you get even more incredible. You ready to go back down?
No.
Is it that scary?
Yes. So our next stop was Tirta Gangga, which is a water palace, most famously known for the koi fish that swim through. It costs 15,000 rupiah to enter total for the both of us, so very, very cheap to enter this beautiful palace. So the area, once you enter, it feels very natural. There's a lot of greenery, and just hearing the sound of the water is so beautiful. You're able to walk through. There's several paths, and then you can also walk on the stepping stones. It was very cool, but you also are like fighting your way through all the other people. They do sell food for the koi fish outside of the temple. It was pretty cheap, but we chose not to do that, as it's just an extra cost. And, you know, when you have everybody feeding these fish, it kind of just becomes a frenzy.
No wonder they're so big.
It was a great place to relax and just enjoy the beautiful scenery. We walked towards the back of the palace and sat on these swings and just relaxed and swum there for a while with Arlo, so that was really nice. Overall, I would say it was a pretty good stop, even though you're fighting people on the stepping stones. When you're leaving or entering the palace, be sure to be careful when taking videos or photos of some of the vendors, as they have a lot of cool things. We saw like snakes and bats. They'll make you pay if they notice that you take a photo or video, and if you don't want to do that, then just keep the phone down or do it really, really secretly. After Tirta Gangga, we made a quick pit stop before heading to the waterfall. So right now Lyndon is taking the drone up. He stopped by some rice fields, and it is absolutely beautiful. The greenery is just insane. So Lyndon is going to see what it looks like from above. So after those beautiful, stunning rice fields that we got to see with the drone, we then headed
to the waterfall that we were going to visit for the day, which was called Tukad, Cepung. The walk down probably took 10 minutes. It was all downhill, and there were shops and restaurants that you could stop at to eat, grab a drink if you wanted. Otherwise, you just continue on down. Once you get to the bottom, you can either go left or right. To the left is where the main waterfall is, and to the right there's a smaller waterfall, which we decided to go to first. And it was really pretty. It had just such a nice, peaceful sound coming from the water. And it was a great place for Arlo to just kind of like walk around in the water and play for a bit. Once we were done there, we headed back to the left to the big waterfall, which was spectacular, you guys. It was very interesting because most of the waterfalls we have gone to like aren't in caves. There's like very little light. We're like, are we going to be able to see this waterfall? But we sure did. Once we got there, there's a big hole in the top of the cave, and the light just shined on through with the water raining down. The water made this beautiful roaring noise, which Arlo absolutely loved, which you'll see coming up. We got our own like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe a little bit more, to ourselves to be up there by ourselves at the waterfall, getting all the photos and videos that we wanted. And I think Arlo enjoyed it the most, just with like such a unique sound to him that he was just constantly looking up. And so it was such a fun experience. Waterfall was 15 meters high, which is also about 50 feet. We definitely recommend you come to Tukad Cepung, whether you're with a tour guide or not. It is definitely worth it.
Our next stop, which was lunch, which was absolutely perfect because at this point we were starving. We stopped at Warung. The views from the restaurant were absolutely incredible. I mean, we were right in the jungle, and the way we were positioned was like we were above the jungle, just like looking down on it, getting to listen to the sounds. They even had a high chair for Arlo, which, as always, that makes us like a place even better. We ordered 2 mango smoothies and 2 Indonesian dishes, which we don't have the names of, but they were really, really good. And honestly, just go to the local page in the menu and pick something local, and you can't go wrong. After that, there's another part of the restaurant, which is a coffee plantation, so we sampled 14 free coffee and teas. We really loved the avocado coffee, so we actually ended up buying it just because it was super unique and we've never heard of like avocado coffee. I mean, that's not something you get back in the States.
Drunk on coffee and tea.
From there, we headed to our last stop.
So our last stop, what you probably have heard of, are the Bali swings, also known as the Tagalong rice terraces. It was a lot of fun, to be honest. So there is an entrance fee to get in. It does cost 250,000 rupiah per person if you want to pay to see all of the swings and to go walk the rice terraces. They do have other prices you can pay if you just want to do certain things. So we were originally going to pay 500,000 for me and Nicole to see it all, but I kind of just stood there like it was really, really expensive. The guy behind the counter bumped the price down to 400K. Anyways, we paid the entrance fee and we went in. They do have a restaurant you can get food at, and it has a beautiful view. Once you get down to the first swing area, they do have a place where you can put on a dress. They have a bunch of different colors. It makes it look so much more cool when you're on the swing with the flowy dress behind you. Cole got a white one, looked really amazing. The first swing we went on, we could take Arlo with us. I think it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but once we got going, it wasn't that bad. Arlo was definitely having a good time on it. And after that swing, we went to the iconic one, which you guys have probably seen all over social media. So this big swing is definitely the one you want to go on if you're wanting to get that Instagram type shot or video. We have never been on a swing that big, I don't think. I'm usually afraid of heights. I wasn't afraid. I had such a blast on it. So besides these 2 swings that we went on, there are also a bunch of other ones you can go on as well, including ones on the other side of the rice field. And there's some ones that you can get some great photos in as a family or just by yourself, as a couple, whatever it may be. These rice terraces and swings are definitely a great place to bring your family. So that is going to wrap up our first big tour of Bali. We had such a blast. It only cost $100 for the entire day for all 3 of us. I That included the entrance fee, the tour guide, and lunch. So we definitely recommend this.
As always, thank you for watching. It means the world to us. And if you could, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss next week.
See you next time.